All right, so this is the start of a new series, basically a 5-part series on ways that we can improve our driving distance. Okay, so first part, or part 1 here, is we're going to really focus on lower body power. Okay, and I put out a little short video of some of the exercises that would fall into that, but I really wanted to just take a couple minutes to kind of talk through just the importance of this kind of characteristic or this method. As well as maybe walk through a handful of exercises that fall into that bucket. Okay, so the reason I started with lower body power is that a lot of research out there, most research out there, there was a meta-analysis paper out there that really showed that one of the highest correlations, if not the highest correlation to increased clubhead speed, was lower body explosive movements, exercises. Okay, so this is a little bit different than just strength. So yes, obviously squatting and split squatting and deadlifting are all very, very important, but this takes those strength exercises and now adds a little bit of that speed component to it, that force component to it, our ability to interact with the ground, so that it ultimately ties back into what we need to do on the course, on the tee, with trying to increase that clubhead speed. Okay, so think of lower body explosive exercises as pushing into the ground. Okay, the more we can push into the ground, we get that force to come back through our body. That will translate then into the energy that's going through our core, through our shoulders, through our arm, through that club. Okay, and so there's a lot of different ways that we can utilize the weight room that will then translate back to when we get onto the course. Okay, so I got 4 exercises I want to walk through. There's a million that we can pick from, but I wanted to at least highlight maybe 4 that you can do at your home gym, if you belong to a local gym, that you can at least be mindful of making sure that you have somewhere within your program. Okay, so the first one is a barbell shrug pull. So obviously I have the ability to do this off of a platform, and I do have rubber weights on this. So and we'll talk through what you can do if you don't have this specific setup. So in an ideal situation, platform, rubber weights, what I'm looking for is that we are going to be very stable, very rigid with our upper body. I am pushing my feet into the ground. I am driving up, and I am going to drop the weight at the top. Okay, that's where the rubber weights, the platform, can come into play, because really all I'm really focusing on with this exercise is that triple extension, pushing the feet into the ground. Okay, if you're at the Planet Fitnesses of the world where they don't let you drop the weight, by all means you can still do this exercise. The idea is that we're still pushing, we're getting to the top, and I will just take it more controlled down and reset. So by all means you can do that. If you have the ability to get to the top and drop, though, ideally that is what I'm looking for with this one. So just one more here. Load in, nice flat back. I'm already feeling a little bit of the weight. Big push through the hips, and I drop the weight at the top. Okay, so that's one. I'm going to roll this off. Try not to hit the camera here as I take it down. And then the next one. So next couple. Kettlebell, dumbbell would probably work as well, depending on what you have available to you. So the first one is just a weighted jump. Okay, so even if you don't have a weight, just straight vertical jumps is a great lower body power, lower body explosive exercise. Okay, if you have the ability to throw a couple pounds or just a little bit of that external kind of cue or that external load, this is about a 20-30 pound weight. That's all I need, because at the end of the day, it goes back to the point, I still want to be explosive with this movement. Same idea, a little bit of a quarter squat. I'm pushing my feet into the ground. I'm jumping as high as I can, and I'm reset. Okay, upper body's very rigid, very stable. Lower body as explosive as we can. Okay, idea is that I'm getting those hips to extend, but the hips are extending from the push into the ground from the feet. That starts the movement. Okay, so that's the second one, some version of a jump. Great lower body explosive exercise. If you have the ability to add a little bit of weight to it, like I said, I think it just helps cue you into getting that push with the lower body. Okay, the third one, this might be our quote unquote golfish one. So it's a variation of a kettlebell swing. And really what I'm really focusing on, I'm a right-handed golfer, is that I want to focus on what my left leg is doing in this. Okay, so I'm going to get the kettlebell swing and a little bit more control on my backswing, but I'm trying to be explosive and drive across my body. And as I'm doing that, I'm trying to get a little bit more of a push, a vertical push with my front side leg, which in this case is my left. So control back, a little bit of a load, push. Push with the left, drive it out. Back and forth there, okay? And then our last one, let me bring this bad boy in, is just a traditional box jump. So I got about an 18-inch box. So the height on a box jump, in my opinion, does not matter. It goes back to the intent of pushing into the ground. The box just allows us to work on the landing. I think what we sometimes get caught up with on box jumps is we're trying to get a 40-inch box, a 50-inch box. All most guys are really doing when they're doing that, it's just flexing and tucking. They're not really actually getting a good push, a good extension. So sometimes a little bit of a lower box is all we need, which would allow us to really work on that extension from the hips. I can still work on that landing in a more controlled pattern. Arms back, big push, extend up, stick the land. Okay? So spotlighted, what was that? Four exercises for you guys. So just the kind of final thoughts: lower body explosive power, lower body explosive exercises, they got to be somewhere within your program. I would tend to do these early. So I usually do a warm-up, some type of core activation, shoulder activation, hip activation, and then usually this is the block of exercises that come next. You don't need to do a ton. Maybe you pick one or two, 2 to 3 sets, usually a little bit lower on the reps. So maybe something in the 3 to 5, 4 to 6 type rep range, because it goes back to, if we're trying to be very explosive, all-out type movements, we don't need a ton of reps, because we also need to make sure that our body's able to recover so that we can repeat that with max effort. So 2 to 3 sets, we'll say just 3 to 6 reps. Pick something that's maybe a jumping variation. You can get into some version of a lateral movement. Med ball type throws can be very good in this category as well. If you want to be a little bit more advanced, some of those beginning stages of Olympic lifting with the barbell, also all great options. But part 1, lower body power. Stay tuned for the rest of the